I will start recording the session now. Uh, this is the fourth online uh, workshop and seminar from the Blended Learning Committee in order to promote the blended learning practices among the university community, especially the academic staff. So thank you very much for all those who have joined, and I hope that uh, few more people will join in a few minutes time, but we will start because the time is very critical. So today's topic is about how you can practice more different assessment techniques using the features available in the Moodle. Moodle is as you all know, uh, the open source learning management system where almost all the faculties and many places in Sri Lanka who use uh, to set up the LMS learning management system in the faculties. And there are so many features it has to conduct assessment activities, especially as you all know, we have two types of thing, but we call the formative assessment and the summative assessment. Formative assessment is a part of the uh, teaching and learning process, and people sometimes define the assessment as three types of assessment, as you may have heard: assessment as learning, assessment for learning, assessment of learning. So formative assessment usually has these two things: uh, assessment as learning, and assessment for learning. So the main objective there is to promote the learning process. An assessment of learning is usually at the end of the course, where what we call the summative assessment, and that's based on the kind of learning outcomes, the key learning outcomes defined in the course. So the rubrics are defined usually in a course: how much summative percentage and how much is the uh, formative percentage. And the traditional model, people usually put the more weight on the formative, summative assessment in semester exams, what we call. And continuous assessment, we usually don't practice much, but sometimes, as you know, the continuous assessment means maybe one or two assignments that are given during the course. Again, that is not a continuous assessment. Continuous assessment throughout the semester, every week, there should be some activities where people do these activities uh, uh, as a part of their learning activities. Some of the things where marks will be given, for some of things marks will not be given. So the main idea is to promote and increase the engagement of the learning in the course. So uh, I mean, if we looked at this is the whole exercise, the main objective of whole exercise is to improve the quality of the program. So today, as you may have seen in the notice, we are going to discuss uh, some of the different features available, which you can use for both the formative and summative. But most important thing, my suggestion is people need to first practice the formative assessment as much as possible. And in a good course, if you are practicing those things, you can increase the weight or the rubric percentage component on the formative assessment. Then the people also will find the course is very lightweight. I mean, that there won't be a big overhead on the assessment, because sometimes exam oriented culture, some people don't like big assessment at the end semester, and the people fail, and very difficult to measure. And on the other hand, uh, formative assessment is in a high workload, and for both the students and the teacher, it's not an easy thing, and the people really need to put a lot of effort. And summative exam may be the just 2 hours things, and the people like, teachers also like sometimes, but there is not a good assessment. That's my personal observation, as you may have seen even in the literature it says. So balancing both those two things are important. And again, we have to see how different techniques, tools, especially features available on the LMS, how we can use them to promote the learning activity. So I'm inviting Dr. Tushani Veerasinghe, who is the present coordinator for the e-learning center at the UCSC and known person among the all the faculties who has helped under the blended learning project, UNESCO project. So she is someone who is practicing these things in her teaching and course, and she will share her experience, and we can have a kind of a discussion at the end and see how we can further continue discussion. This one session may not be sometimes enough to tell everything. Sometimes we may have to have a couple of more sessions in the future, so we could decide that one. So having that background, Tushani, I'm happy to hand it over the session to you now.
Thank you, sir. So I'm going to share my screen. So here, actually, the workshop we titled as the online workshop on Moodle-based online assessments. So here, today we have to discuss only about few kinds of assessments that we can use in Moodle because we don't have much time. Yeah, actually, first of all, we need to know what type of assessments activities are there, as Professor Hewagamage explained. Now I'm going to rush actually quickly explain you what sort of things are available and how we can conduct assessments using Moodle features. So, and to develop any assessment based on quizzes, forums, and assessments. Those are the three features I have selected for this particular assessment. But there are lots of features available here. So later on, we can have another workshop for. Okay, can't you hear me? Hello.
Tushani, we can hear you, no problem.
Yeah, somebody says he cannot hear. Okay, so then I will continue. So there are lots of features available in Moodle. Actually, we will be focusing only about quizzes, forums, and assessments today because we don't have much time. Later, we can have another workshop for discussing about wiki and workshops and other things there in Moodle. So and finally, we can use these assessment features available in Moodle and then for publishing the results as well. So there's a great book for publishing results. So at the end of this particular session, you will be able to describe what an evaluation is and prepare learning achievement evaluations and course evaluations and then design learning activities, quizzes, assessments, and online tests. And then we'll be talking about formative and summative assessments, those features, and select appropriate tools for conducting online assessments. So here, the online assessments, there are different types of assessments that we can have. These assessments are really essential element of learning. So that's what Professor Hewagamage also told you that this can be used as formative assessments, because this is a very essential component of learning for the learning process as well. And when you give an assessment, it can motivate the learners, arouse curiosity, and we can assess the learners' performance or achievements. And also when we give it to at the very beginning, we can find the level of the learner, entry level of the participants for the programs, or we can have an idea about the students' understanding or the level of knowledge in the course, so that we can assist them. Okay, so that can support them for helping them to understand the subject and master the skills. So this will create the active learning. So then when we say that it is creating active learning and supporting the learner, then we need to identify how are we going to design a particular activity to make them motivated and help them retain what they learn. Okay, and provide feedback and so solve their problems. So how can we do it? When we think about the evaluations, now we have three domains of learning. So cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. These things you might have heard even in the staff development programs. But in the cognitive aspects, we always talk about that. Okay, when you talk about the evaluation, we always think about the assessing the knowledge of the learner, not much about the skills even. Sometimes we talk about skills as well, but mostly we talk about the knowledge because we give them written examinations. So they are the students need to write answers clearly. Okay, so then answers are expected to be written, but we do not much consider about their creativity, their application, applying in the knowledge, how they can create something new based on that. uh, but if you think about the other domains, then such features are not actually used even. So then this is cognitive is one particular domain. There are affective and psychomotor, two other domains as well that we have to talk about when we talk about teaching and learning and evaluation. So here, if you talk about effective domain, so these values of characterizing by values and organizing and conceptualizing, valuing, responding, all these things we do not consider much. And if you think about psychomotor skills, we don't think about those things even. They are the capability of using that knowledge and doing something, and motor skills. So in particular in the physical education, okay, maybe for the developing their skills related to sports, then they may be talking about psychomotor. But those kind of things are not assessed even the university level much. So here, there are things that we have ignored. That's what I wanted to tell you. So that actually we can think about those things as well and design evaluations in a different way. Not like trying to practice the same thing that we have done in the normal classroom setting in the online. Okay, so when you're transferring classroom learning to online learning, we don't need to do the same kind of activities, same kind of practices online. So we have to think again what we could not do, what we had to do. So likewise, we can do something better than what we were practicing earlier. So in that sense, you can have that we have knowledge, skills, and attitude simply. So when you say cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domains, so we have the knowledge, skills, and attitudes. So with respect to that, we can think about designing good personal mm, personal presentations. So those are the things actually, these are the things actually the people look at when they want to find people for their working environment. So the students go for interviews, the interviewers look at the students' capability in presenting something and their positive attitudes. When we ask a question, some about doing something and taking a challenge, sometimes they are reluctant to accept it. So that kind of persons are not capable or not suitable for getting the employment. So they look at their personal organization and timekeeping capabilities, integrity, honesty. So those are the things that actually I found from the web, from a document saying that skills um, skills you need for the better employment. And then when we talk about what we can evaluate based on what they require, we can see that the knowledge and the knowledge, facts and information are the things that we assess. And their reasoning skills in analyzing, problem solving, those kind of things are given already by with case studies, and also we in computer science we give them some problems to solve, and in different other subjects even you might be using this. But for the design, demonstration, presentation, products and the mindsets, we do not assess a lot. So we can think about those things much and then redesign our assessments for the to make them better. So when we do the conduct evaluation, there are 3 types. As Professor P.Hewagamage said, there are formative and assessment, summative. Those are the 2 major. But we have pre-course and pre-lesson assessments as well, just helping them, preparing them for the course. So that is also considered as an assessment. But when you talk about when can we do the evaluation? The Kirkpatrick is providing us 4 levels of evaluation model. So you can see that the beginner, the lowest level is the reaction. And the second is the learning. The third is impact, and the fourth is result. The reaction is the soon after a lesson, we can evaluate whether the students' understanding about the subject. Then simply we ask, are you happy about today's session? Did you understand? Or by looking at their faces, we can see that reaction. But when we conduct it online, soon after each lesson, we can have some kind of a small quiz or a yes, no type of a thing. Type of question is also enough. Okay, so that kind of a question would be also enough in order to understand what type of what their reaction is about the lesson. So whether they are happy about the lesson. And from the for the learning means we need to wait a little bit more, like we have to complete at least 1 lesson, and at the 1 lesson, at the end of a lesson, you can conduct a test. So to see whether they have understood or whether they have gained the skills or the change the attitudes. So the learning outcomes are achieved. So in order to do that, we need to wait a little bit more. Like we cannot do it very quickly. With the reaction, the first level, we can soon after day's session, we can assess it. But for the learning, the second level, when we go up, we have to wait a little bit more. And also, if you think about the questions, type of questions that we can have in the second level, would be a little bit more. They have more value than the level of the questions that we have in the first level. The first level, we can have yes, no type of questions, but when it comes for learning, the second level, we can have some kind of other type of questions like multiple choice or fill in the blanks, or at least structured type of questions, essay type of questions we can have for assessing their learning. And next, the impact. Impact means what kind of an impact it was for the training, from the training, for the changing of the behavior of the learner. So in order to do that, we have to wait a little bit more than that. So for than the second level, we have to wait until the course is completed. And what is the impact of this course? Okay, so what was the impact? That could we change the behavior of that learner because of conducting this learning training program? So we have to wait sometimes end of a semester, or sometimes at the end of the year. Okay, so at the end of the program, we have to wait, so that after completing the whole program, we can conduct an evaluation and see whether this course was helpful, or this program was helpful for the learner to change his behavior, he could gain more knowledge from this, or develop his skills and change the attitudes. Now, in order to prepare the assessments, even we have to put a lot of effort, more effort than the questions that we develop for the second level. When we go for the fourth level, the result will be the what would be the influence? What was the did the training influence the performance of the learner, and then as a result could we improve the industry, or let's say that we are producing the students for the employees for the industry, then we have to assess, do the evaluation at the industry level and see whether the new students are giving them the requirements, okay, bringing the requirements that they really need, or whether they can perform better And then we can, if you conduct the training programs for the uh, mm, uh, mm, workers who are already employed, then we can really see whether they can do better now, and then as a result the company could earn more money. So there's those levels are describing the amount of effort that we should put into preparing the questions. Okay, so the first level is very easy, that we can have simple type of questions, but when we go for the learning, then we can have to put more effort. And if we go for the impact, those are the things actually we usually conduct at the university level, the reaction, learning, and impact. We don't look much about the results. So anyway, now we need to think about, when we are preparing, what are we going to do with our test? What is the purpose of our evaluation? That needs to be understood well before going for designing any evaluation. But anyway, when you consider the results or the data that coming from the first level, that will provide you less value. That means we can change actually the program by looking at the faces of the students or their reaction, quick reaction. When it comes to the learning, we can do some little bit of changes to the lessons wise. But for the impact, then we can do a lot of changes to the whole program. So now we can think about what sort of assessments are there. What can you have as e-assessments? So there are quizzes, lesson and test. At the end of each lesson, you can have lesson and tests. So that test and the quiz, there are two words. Even in the blended learning programs, we describe these two terms. Quiz means as soon as the students attempt the quiz, the question, the students will get the feedback. They will see the feedback, and they can see the hints, and they can attempt it again and again even. But for the test, usually they will get the results. Okay, what sort of the number of marks they could achieve? That will be shown to the learner. So those are the lesson and test, or the course and test. And the course and test, or we can have at the end of the semester, we have the course and test. And then assignments are also there. During the program, we can provide them several assignments for online submissions. And we can have demonstrations. Those can be recorded. We can ask the students to record their demonstration and upload, or we can have synchronously. We can use Zoom and then conduct the presentations, demonstrations, and then we can monitor and give marks. So the demonstrations and presentations both can be done with online synchronously, or we can allow them to record it and upload the video. Anyway, the marking will be time consuming because we have to manually do the marking by looking at what they have done or what they are doing. So these assessments are really helpful anyway. So you know about these things, so I will quickly go on. And then if you think about the preparing the assessments, so that is really important, because you need to think about that you're looking at the internet learning outcomes, and then you have to think about whether this question is really needed, whether this is useful, and am I checking the students' achievement of internet learning outcomes by having this question? And then again, if you have a lesson and test, then you need to have questions based on that particular lesson. That's what it says. Okay, lesson and test actually should have questions based on that particular lesson. But if it's a mid-semester test, then we can have all the lessons in the first half of the before the mid assessment. What lessons that you have covered before the mid assessment. At the end of the assessment, in say last assessment, you can consider only the second half of the assessment, or you can have the course end assessment where you consider all the lessons that you have conducted. But anyway, now there is a third point here. It says order the questions according to the syllabus. Actually, this is how the questions, question should be prepared when you think about supporting the learner, to help them to understand from where what you are asking. Sometimes the question is written, so then in that case the students will not be able to understand. But if you organize the questions according to the lessons, then they will easily understand from which part you are actually asking this question. But people, some educators actually comment on this, saying that even though it should, even though some other educators are saying that the question should be organized according to the syllabus. Some says it need not to be organized in that way, because in the natural context, the questions will not come in an order that will come from any context, and then from any order it can be. So in that case, you don't need to provide the questions in the order following the syllabus. So it depends on you. You can decide whether you will prepare a case study, then the full question paper is based on one case study, and then you may have different questions coming from different parts of the lessons, but all that will come connected to one case study maybe. It depends on you. So then in that case, you can't follow this order. But if the questions are really coming from the lesson wise, then you can think about providing them in the correct order so that learner can easily understand what you are asking. And then the next thing is you have to think about the time that you allocate, and the clarity of the question, and the language that you use. So those 3 points are really helpful for the students to understand what you ask and help them to provide the answer correctly. Okay, so if the time is not allocated enough, then they will not be able to answer it properly. And the clarity of the question and the languages also needs to be considered a lot. So then when to give feedback, then you have to think about, as soon as possible, you have to provide the feedback when you conduct assessments online. But sometimes we conduct assessments based on assignments. So we ask the students to submit some files. So in that case, we need more time to go through them and then evaluate and provide them a feedback. So in that case, we need to spend more time. Otherwise, we have to we can grade the assessments or the marks automatically. So the feedback can be automatically provided, and then the grading can be done automatically. The students will see the results very soon. So we'll talk about what sort of assessments now we can have, the type of questions we have, the true, false, multiple choice, point and click, hotspots are there. There you can have the image, and then the areas can be marked. And then the matching cases, drag and drop, ratings, these kind of things are they are in Moodle. Okay, so we'll go to the Moodle interface, and then we'll discuss how we can have an assessment there. Before going there, I would like you to think about what sort of assessment plan you have. Okay, now whenever you design an assessment, you need to have a plan for the assessment. So what you really want to have for your course. So we were talking about different types of assessments. So then you need to have an assessment plan as well in your mind. Otherwise, it's good to prepare them in a paper so that you can easily design your assessments, and those assessments will be more effective than what you given earlier maybe. Okay, you can try it out. Any questions, please? So far? Any questions, please? If you have access to any Moodle-based course, you may also log into that. And while I'm just describing, you can also try it out. since we call this as a workshop, because I think we should provide some time for you to practice as well. So this is one course environment we have. I just got a free space course here without having anything, so that you can easily see the content listed here. Okay, so if you have access to any course, any Moodle course, then please log into that, and then you can see what you are going to do. Yes, so now I am on the course in one of the learning management systems of the at the UCSC. I just named it as interactive learning content development. I don't have any content here yet. Now I'm going to show you my assessment plan for this. Okay, look at this one. This is the assessment plan. Can you see it? Okay, here. The assessment plan is like this. So we want to have some pre-course assignment. Okay, so then the students will be able to go through some material available outside of the LMS and search for things, and then they will do some activity. So I just give them some steps to do it, and they will upload the file to the LMS. Okay, and then I wish to have a rubric to give marks, and I will show you how to give the marking, how to do the marking very quickly when you have a rubric or a guide. And for the continuous assessment, this is assessment actually. Continuous assessment, we can have a discussion forum, or we can have discussion forums and lesson and quizzes. So we'll have several activities here as discussion forums or lesson and quizzes. These kind of things we can have easily. Or else you can think about a project-based course. So we can step by step, the students will be guided through steps in the project. And then you can, during the course, the lessons will be delivered in order to support them to do the project. And then you will be helping them to deliver the products. So those are the continuous assessments. Okay, or else you can have it a different way. And finally you can have the end semester assessment. So that will be a test or a quiz. So those are the things I had in my plan today. So I'm going to talk about assignments, and then forums, and then the quizzes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Do you have any questions? Anrutika? Any questions, please? No? Okay, I'll continue then. Yes. So first of all, I said that we want to have a pre-course assessment. So then I have to go to the turn editing on. I have to make the turn editing on, and then I have to have an assessment here. So this is simple, you know, but I just click on this assignment, and then I just name this one as with the assessment plan what I have here. Let me say. Sorry, this one. So I want to have a pre-course assessment, and then you can want to have a description there. So this is a pre-course assessment. And then I need to, it should be very nice because you have to make design this assessment nicely. Otherwise students will come feel bored, and then they will not feel like doing it even. So the instructions should be written very clearly. And then again you can have some interactive elements, or you can at least you can have a graphic here. Okay, so in my case I have this version Moodle, so I can click on this and see the options available here as well. So if I want to add a picture here, I can click on this, and then I can get a image. So I will get a recent file, no, upload, browse, let me see, this one, and then I can save it as online learning. You can specify this license. If you don't know what it is, then license not specified. Otherwise, you can go with the Creative Commons or the license type, from where you pick the picture. So here I can't remember from where. Then I just said license not specified. Upload this file, and now I have this interface. Can you see this one? The image properties here. Okay, yes, you can see image properties. So here I can describe the image. So this is about an interactive learning. And then I can reduce the size because this is a little bit large. So I just put here 330, just the half of the size from the width. And then you can see that auto size is clicked on. So because of that, it gets automatically adjusted. And the alignment would be middle, where I like to have it in the middle so that I can save this image. Okay, so now I can center align this image. Okay. Yes. Next, I can have here the other descriptions about how to do the activity. So I just copy this one. This is my plan. From the plan, I just copy it and then have it on the interface. Here. So I have 3 instructions here. Find an exemplary e-learning content which can help you to understand how learning content has to be designed, and describe each. Content, copy the links or include references, and provide screenshots and some interfaces. Save your file as PDF and upload here, so that you can see that all the steps are given here one by one, and the students will be able to do something here. So next, I can have the availability, deadlines. Think about how long I'm going to have this assessment. So if this is going to be a pre-course assessment, so you may give it for 1 week most, or let's say 2-3 days. And then you can see how when it should appear. So let's say it should appear today, and then due date should be like 30. Okay, so set it like this as the default, or else I can have 26, just 3 days. And then you have to think about at what time actually you want to make it stop. So here the due date is 26, and then you can set the time to 23, that means midnight, and here also 59. So so the students will find time to finish it in the night. Then the problem is actually sometimes they might encounter with a lot of issues with the technical issues. Then they will not be able to do it. So I need to have cutoff date as well. So when in that case, I might say that the students will be able to complete it by the 27th, because now 26th is the cutoff date, due date. Then the cutoff date, that means late submissions will be allowed. So at the morning, before in the morning, they should be able to complete. Let's say by 6 o'clock in the morning, they should be able to finish it. Then following day. So even if they encounter technical issues, they will be able to submit the file. And if you think that you want to remind the Moodle to grade this, so you can send a reminder as well. Otherwise, you can take it off. Okay, so if you want, you can, if you want to send Moodle to send you a remind, then you can set it to 27th in this case, because I'm having it here to 6 o'clock March, or at in time you like. Yes. Then the description, if you want to show, then you can have a tick here. Then it will come to the first page interface. If you have some more files as guidelines, you can drag and drop them here, so that the students will be able to open them and see. Now in this case, actually, we need to see that how we will provide the feedback. So feedback will be provided with comments according to this. And then you can have a comment in line. So yes, if you write to have the comments online, and then you can have yes here. That is, you can provide the comments. Then the submission settings, it is good to have no here, because otherwise students will miss to say yes, because the yes button will appear on the bottom of the screen usually. So then the students have to scroll and click on the yes for the submission. If they do not do it, the file will not get saved. So it is better not to have selected this. So you can have no here, and require the students accept the submission statement. That is also not needed. And then attempts reopen, you don't need to have it, but if you think you want the students to reopen and do it again and again, so that while you are providing feedback, they can resubmit. So it's good to have something like that for the continuous assessments. If you really want the students to do it quickly and get feedback and submit an improved version, so you can have it automatically until pass or manually. Otherwise, you don't need to. In this case, I'm going to have a pre-course assessment, so I don't need to have it. The group submissions, yeah, I don't have any groups in the course, in the students groups, so I don't want to have this as well. And notifications as well, you don't need to provide. If you want this to see the notifications from the Moodle when the students submit them online, you can click yes here. So you will get the notifications about the late submissions and submissions as well. But students really want to have the notifications. Okay, when they upload, they expect something from the system. So they want to see whether they have saved the file correctly. So when you have this notification yes here, the students will see a message coming to their email. So that will verify them that they have successfully uploaded the file. So better to have yes here. The grade, now this is the part actually you might find interesting. So here the grade, you can have points, and also you can have a scale if you want. So the point, if you think about the points, that's how we usually give the marks now. The point, let's say the maximum grade would be, what is the maximum grade that you give for this? If it's something that you give marks, so let's say you will give 10 only, okay? And then the grading method, what is the grading method? So when you want to have, say, simple direct grading, it means that you will just give the marks without having a guideline, without having a rubric. So you just open it and then you give marks. that is not well accepted. So then it is good to have a guide or a rubric. Okay, so I just use guide or rubric, and I will tell you how to use both. First use the guide, and then all the marks can be given very quickly, and you can assign even instructor to give the marks. Here the grading category, if you have them already, then you can have them. Otherwise, just have it like this, because this comes from the grade book. Then the grade to pass, here I have the 10 as the maximum. So I just write here 5, or you can decide it. The blind marking means that you don't look at the student number, student index number, or the name. Without looking at the student's information, you can do the marking, or you can have them know. That means you can see the student's information as well. This is also important. Hide the grade identity from the students. If you want, you can hide them so that students will not be able to see see who actually marked their questions, the submissions. But for the comments, this will not apply. If you submit comments, the students will see from who actually gave them the comments. And the marking workflow, if you use yes here, then that means the students will not see the marks while you are doing the marking. So that, let's say that you have several questions, and then partly you will mark, and then you will assign another one to mark their next question, and you can assign another one. So likewise, you can have several examiners to mark the assignment. In that case, you can have a marking workflow, and then you can allocate the examiners to do the marking. So one person is allocated first, and then that person will be marking the question, and then he can change the assignment to assign the assignments to for the marking another examiner. You can allocate another examiner for the next question, and likewise you can continue. So the students will not see marks until you finish the process. Okay, so that's how you can use these features. So if you have several instructors maybe in your course who would like to give the marks for these assignments, then you can do it in that way. So when you have a rubric or a guideline, very nice. Better to have this one actually in that case, the rubric. This is having more freedom for the examiner. So anyway, now if you use this one, that will happen. Okay, so if you have this, then you have to allocate the examiners as well. I just put yes here so that you can see that feature available here. Then the common module setting, yes, you want to show it, and then you don't have the group modes, and then the ID numbers. If you want to call it back, then you can have a specific ID number there. Otherwise, just keep it blank here. Next, the restrict access. So this is also good. Actually, if you want to restrict the access to this assignment, you can add a restriction. Let's say that this assignment you create at the very beginning of the course. Okay, but you want the students to do it at a particular day, at a particular time, or within particular time. Let's say you want to do it, want the students to do it on Monday or 29th, 29th on at particular time. Okay, so likewise, then if you want to do it like that, then you can say yes, date, and then you say okay, students must match the following. Okay, the date from which date you want. So you can select the date 29, and from 9 o'clock, and then you need to have a 2 here from this time to next. Okay, then from this time until 29th. So within let's say 1 hour they have to complete this. Then 29th and 9 we start, and then at 10th we will be finishing it. So likewise, we can set the deadline. Okay, but in my case, I think on the top, I set the deadline to a different date, 29th, 23rd to 26th, I set it. So then I can match a requirement like this here. Now in this case, 23rd, from the morning, it allows. So I can set it to 25th, early morning, and 26th, 9. Okay, so then even if the students can see the assignment so that they can read it and they can see, but they can't do anything. Or I say they can't see even if you click, if you check this off. Okay, so if you want to, if you don't want the students to see it, then you can tick it off so that that will not go to the course homepage. But they will see that there's an assignment to do. Okay, so the pre-course assessment is there. And then this will be accessible from this time only. So then on 25th morning, they can see it. But they can't do any submissions. Okay. So if you don't want the students to see it, submit the assignment, then you can have these restrictions here. Access restrictions here. So then you can say, okay, the students will be able to see it on the 25th at say 9 o'clock, yes. And on before 26th, 9 o'clock, they have to finish it. Or let's say 26th night. Yeah, it's night now. Then I can have the same time here. So this will actually restrict the students accessing the assignment even if they see the instructions. Okay, so they will not be able to do anything. So that kind of restrictions you can have depending on your activity. Then on activity completion, so we can say that they have completed it, so that we can say yes. Show the activity. Students can manually mark. That means a checkbox will appear in front of the activity icon. Students can click on it and then say that they have completed. As you can have the show activity as complete when conditions are met. So that means if they complete, only the activity will be marked as completed. So then you can have another activity coming after this. Okay, so then you can have series of activities for one assessment, let's say. So once they complete the first activities, they will be able to see the second activity appear in there. Otherwise, they can't access the second one. So this activity completion setting is really nice. This restrict access and activity completion, these things are really helpful for you to provide a series of questions, okay, and one after the other. So helping the learner to complete one and go to the next, and complete one and go to the next. And also once they start, they will be able to, they will complete it after some time. So here if you have, then you can see that options are appearing here. Student must view this activity to complete, and student must submit to this activity to complete it. So you can have both enable, or you can have only the grade here. And then expect completion date. If you want, you can have that as well, the completion dates. Since we have already set some of the deadlines here, the value of it will be not much, because here I have already cut off date and everything is set. And restrictions are also added here. And the competencies, yes, after completing this, now if earlier I said that once you have several activities, if they complete one activity, they will be allowed to go to the next activity. Then in that case, the Moodle should pass value to the second activity. Okay. So then that means once the students complete this activity, we have to inform the Moodle that the learner has completed it. So then you have to upload activity completion. You have to complete the competency. This has to be selected. Otherwise, you can get the value coming from here to the next. The learner will not be able to see the board. Yes. So here, otherwise you can have attached evidence, send for review. Yeah, this is good if you want to have series of active questions in one assessment. So you can save and return to the course. Once you go there, now since we have restrictions set there, you can see now it is in the restricted mode, not available unless after 25th March 9 a.m. and before 26th March 11:55 p.m. So now you don't need to worry about making it active or hidden or do any other settings. And remember even that the students are having an assessment. So you can design it and you can take care of your other work. So this will automatically, Moodle will take care of the assessment. The Moodle will automatically make it enable for the learner. The learners will be able to do the activity and automatically it will stop at this particular time. Okay, once the time passes, it stops automatically. So now, did you understand that? Hello. Any questions, please?
Is there a way to submit group assignments through this?
Yes, there is. Now, in that case, you need to have the groups here. Okay, so you
Yes.
have to, first of all, you have to group the participants. So the participants, you need to group them. That grouping has to be done before going for this. Okay, the course settings, you have to go to the grouping. Otherwise, you can't do that.
Can we ask the students to group and then?
No, in that case, this is how I do it. I usually, the students, if I give the for the students a chance to be in groups, I just introduce the activity first. Okay, using announcement, I just say, okay, we are going to be in a group. Yes, you are going to be in a group. Let me know the names of the group participants, and then they have to submit the members first.
How do they submit to you separately or to the Moodle itself?
They can upload it as an assignment. So you can set an assignment like this. Okay. And then ask the students to submit the list of members. So they will submit the list of members. And then after that, you can do the grouping here inside the Moodle by looking at their names.
Okay, so then you will have to do it manually, no?
Yes, we have to get the names from the students and manually do it, because we can't allow the students to put the groups here. We can have the list of names, otherwise you can have the options, but in that case we have to select the leaders and then option activity. Do you know it here? Here you have the choice here. This one can be used, but in that case we have to specify group 10, then groups are there, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise you can make written them.
So using this you can group, using choice you can group the students. Does that happen
we can give the option
automatically?
here, 1, 2, 3, 4, group 1, group 2, group 3, likewise, and allow the students to select only one. And then, but in that case they will select some others group, and but the group member, other group members might not like them, like the person actually selected. So in that
now
case,
if you group
better.
If you group through the Moodle, does that happen automatically or still you need to group them manually?
Automatically,
we have
it can also be done. You
500
can group them automatically.
automatically.
You can
Okay,
group them
because
automatically, or you can group them manually.
so if you group them automatically, once you have grouped them, the students will know to which group they belong to.
Once you group them automatically, they don't know to which group they are belong to. In that case, what I did actually, I just copied the names from the grouping list and then make them available here for them to see. So I just open a page here and then copy the list of names. This page, I just copied the names here so that they could see to which group they are belong to. I just named here the group list, and then they just copied the list of names here. Okay, all the names coming from the Moodle, I copied here so that they could they came to know which group they are belong to. That way also you can put them into groups.
So Professor Hewagamage had said he will explain how it can be done for large.
I mean, as Tushani mentioned, one way is actually this randomizing, random group selection. I mean, you can define some rule and then randomly you can create the groups. For the large classes, there is a plugin called the choose group. Okay, that has to be installed in the LMS. So the default setting, it doesn't have it. The LMS administrator will have to select that plugin called the choose group. Then the students simply you can create a 5 or 6 groups and define some rules like this group has only 10 members. Then you start students to start select the group. So when the group is full, they can't join. So you can start the selection process. I mean, you can open the group selection, choosing the groups at one point and ask people to come and choose. So then they will have to be in a hurry and do that one if they wanted to do it. That's a kind of an easier way, but in that case, the administrator will have to install that plugin, choose group. Yeah. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Hewagamage.
Okay, so in this case, actually, these are the plugins that we have, the proper features we have, activities we have in Moodle by default. And then here we have installed some more things, H5P and some more things I think we have installed. By default, you don't get them here. Okay. Any more questions, please? Okay, then I will show you how to do the, now I selected here something called guide, or I said that there are 2 things as rubric as well. So I will tell you how to do the settings for that. So if you want to do that, you have to open the assignment and then assignment activity, and then go to the, just click on this settings button and go to define marking guide here. And then here you can prepare the marking guide. So the marking guide here will be for the pre-course assessment. We can give a name for this. And then you can have the description here. And here you can have the marking guide. So the marking guide would be, so how do you give the marks for the assessment, submission, student submission? So the marking criteria, what you actually want to provide here. So the description for the student and description for the markers, and then the score you can type here. Likewise, you can go on adding option criterion statements here. So in my case, I have something prepared already for the marking criteria. Let's say you can have the, because this is an assessment, we can have clear and content-rich descriptions, and then we can put, let's say if the first one is that. Okay, so we want to expect we expect the students to write clear and content-rich descriptions here. Then I need the instruction for the student. So the instruction for the student is to provide the student some information about what kind of a content they have to provide here. So for that, I would like to say, okay, provide clear information. So then a clear description needs to be provided by the learners. And for the markers, what kind of information should be provided? Here, the marker should know how the marks should be given, for what specific information they should look at. So the clarity of the information, let's say this is what they should want to know. And then the marking score, since I think I added maximum grade as 10 earlier, so I would like to have 5 here. And then the next criterion, next one would be, now I looked at the content and the clarity of the information, and then I need the references, because I just asked the students to write include the references in their document. So the second is references. The next, I need the students to know what they should write as references. So I need an instruction for the learners. This one would provide, like, include formatted references, the web links, because here I want them to go through the existing learning materials and provide some descriptions about those interactive learning content. In this case, I need the web links. And the markers should know what actually they should look at when they provide marks. So I need to write formatted web links. And the marking score would be like 3 or 2, you can decide. Okay, so 3 marks. And the next criteria, now I have 2, 5, 3. So the next would be the screenshots, because I said that they have to have the screen images as well here. So let's have the screen images here, and then the description for the students. Students should include the screen images. So I just write screen images should be written here. And for the markers, markers should look at whether the images are relevant. Okay, so I just say, okay, you have to look at whether they are relevant. So now I have 5, 3, 2. So then altogether there will be 10. Okay, and if you want, frequently used comments can also be typed here, so that everybody will provide same kind of comments here. So let's say well done, and then you can have some more if you want, good work, what kind of comments that you like to provide usually. Not clear enough. Okay, so likewise, what actually you want to provide, this information can be provided here, and then that will actually help the markers to provide the comments easily. So let's say poor. Okay, so then after that, show guide definitions to the students, show marks per criteria to students. If you want to show these things, you can have them, because I just wrote them assuming that the students will see it. So you can have it here and save it. And now I have this prepared. Okay, this one is there. Okay, so if you want, you can go on editing and you can modify it further. So I will jump to the previous assignment activity now. I just want to see how it look like. So I just click here, view all submissions. Now I can see that there's only one user actually. She's also a teacher, but anyway, I can see that the grade button here appearing. So I just want to show you how it looks like when you go for marking. So when you want to give the marks to the learner, you have to click on this grade button, and then you will see that it's appearing here. So now in this case, she has not done the submissions because she's also a teacher, and I just created it. And this is how anyway you will look at it. Okay, you will see it. So here you can provide the comments, because I said inline comments can be provided, and then the marks can be easily provided here. So I can see that clear content, rich description, provide clear instructions. These are the instructions given for the learner. And then for the marker, they can see the clarity of the content needs to be considered here, and 5 marks are allocated. So you can easily type your mark here. And if you want to provide some more remarks, then you can have them here. So here, like you can type the marks, and then you can, let's say, do it like this. And this is the area which I showed you earlier, that you can assign the, you can have a working workflow, okay, marking workflow. So here, when you're doing the marking, you can say in marking, and which step you are going to. Marking completed, in review, ready for release, release. So likewise, you can change the state. So once you release the state, when you come to the release state, only the students will be able to see the marks, see the comments. So while you are doing this, the students will not see any comments, any feedback. But anyway, you can keep this hidden as well from the students for the gradebook. All gradebook can be kept hidden. Or else you can have it like this, and then finally the students will automatically see the marks once you completed all the marks. And allocate marker, the marker can also be allocated. If you have the markers here, then you can allocate the markers here. So now I just providing the marks only for this one. This one is also a teacher, but now I won't have any more people here. That's why I can't see it here. Okay, I can't see anything here. If you have teachers, more teachers here, I'll be able to see their names appearing here, so that I can select their names. And then you can write the comments and you can save. So that will be saved. Okay, so this will be here because why I selected released here. So because of that, state is written as released. Okay, so if you have the different state here, let's say in marking, and then the marks will not be released. Okay, so it says in marking. Did you understand that? So now I can go back to the previous screen, and then I can show you here. I can see the links. Okay, I can show you that use all submissions. I can see that the marks that I have entered right now, and the status can also be seen in marking. Is that clear to you?
Yes, thank you. Dr. Tushani, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
now,
please.
In the Staff Development Center, we have an LMS and we have these drop boxes for participants to drop work. But we don't want to grade them. We only want to give them feedback. Now, at the moment, there is something saying grade, and we don't put, because that's not our idea. We don't want to give them a mark, but we only want to give them feedback. Is there any way to remove the grade option and only to tell the participant that they got feedback?
Yes, you don't need to specify the grade there.
All right, okay.
Yes. Now in this case, so if you want to, if don't want to give the marks there, you can do that. Edit the settings and the grade. You can have none here.
All right, okay. So you go to grade and type none, and then it
Yes.
will not require that the grade box will not come.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
But you
Right,
can have only the comments. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any more questions, please? Next, I will tell you then how to prepare the rubric. So that rubric is really nice if you really want to have a large number of examiners and want them to mark the assessments. So if you want to do that, then again you need to open this assessment and then assign assessment, this one, and then you have to go to the edit this one. First of all, I have to set the setting to the marking rubric. Okay, rubric is to be set, grading method, and save this. And then after that, if you go here and open it, and then after that you can see the drop down here with the rubric, define rubric. So in the rubric you can have the pre-course rubric and marking rubric, and here you can have the description, and then now here you can see that how the marks are allocated. Okay, so that the division of the marks, all that can also be written included here. So the first one I said that the clarity of the information, if they say that if you want you can have the clear and content rich description, I said. So you can have that one here. And then after that, you can say, okay, 5 marks are allocated for this. So the full marks are 5. And then here I can say 2 for the second. But here I have to write what specific information I should look at. So this one say not clear, and then no content. Say so no enough content. So this one I can say, okay, it's clear, but not content rich. Okay, so this is not enough. This not having enough content. And sorry, this one 6. I have to delete this. I just click on this one accidentally. Now you can see that even if you click on something, you by accidentally you can remove it. Here, the 5th one would be clear, and then the total marks are allocated for the clear and rich content. Okay, so you can look at what actually you will look at it, what content actually you will look when you want to provide marks. Okay, so this is the content but not having rich content, and this is clear and having rich content as well. So the 5 marks are allocated for the full marks are allocated for the full information that we are looking at. The second criteria, the second criterion is actually the clarity and then the references. Yes, references, so that I can have the references here. And in this case, I can say 0 marks for no references. And here I can say the references are there, but not formatted, not formatted. And then here I can say well formatted and formatted references. Okay, well formatted references. So in this case, I earlier gave 3 marks here. So here 2 marks. Or let's say not formatted 1 mark and then 0. So likewise, you can add the marks, division. All these marks can be located, and how the marks are distributed can also be included here. Okay, this last one was actually about the images, I think. Yeah, the screen images, and then I can have here the screen images. So I can say yes, no images here, and then 0 marks. But here the images are there, but not relevant. Okay, not relevant. And I can say yes, the relevant images are relevant. So likewise, you can decide how you will give the marks. Okay, And then after that, you can have all these options as well if you want. Calculate the grading and minimum and all that information, and save this one. And if you go into the grade again, I will go to the pre-course assessment now, and then I will go to the view all submissions and to see the grade here. Now in this case, I can see the how the marks are allocated. Can you see this one now? Yes. So this is very easy now. You can move from user to user as well. One user, you can go to the next and you can easily give the marks. So you don't need to type even here. You can just select, okay, open the file and see, okay, this is not clear enough. Just select that one. That is enough. The selecting would be enough. Okay, just select it. And then you select this one. Yes, not no references. The content is there. It's clear but not rich content. Not relevant. Likewise, you can select. Okay. Then I can say in marking, or this can be allocated. Now my name has been added because I submitted it earlier. And then I can save this. Okay. So here I can see the marks can be automatically entered very quickly, and the reliability of the marking would also be very high because everybody will see the mark the question paper, the assignment in the same way, because when you have a rubric like this, well formatted rubric, okay, well organized rubric. So if you don't want the students notified, you can tick it off, okay, so that students will not get any messages while you do this. So you can do the saving.
Tushani, can the students see the rubric?
Sorry?
Can the students see the rubric to understand how we had done the marking?
They can see the criterion, yes.
Okay, right.
You always can go here and switch your role to student. And then you can see how it, now it opens at 9 o'clock. Okay, I have to set the setting as well. Otherwise, I even can't log. Now here, the student can't click on this. I change my role to student. So I have to change the settings to, this settings needs to be activated to 23rd. And then after that, I can edit it further. Okay, any more questions, please? 23rd, let's say. Maybe it's not available even because the restrictions are also added now. Oh, I changed my setting to student. Now I can see it. Yes. So here the student can see it. Can you see?
Yeah. Yes. Thanks.
Okay. Any more questions, please? No? So that we can move to the next one. If you don't have any questions, that's about the preparing the questions, the multiple choice questions or the quizzes. Okay, I change my role to again teacher. Yes. Go back to this stage. Yes. Here. Now the forums are easy. I think all of you know how to do it. Only thing is actually the rating has to be done. Since we don't have much time, I believe we can go to the next one, or quickly I will show the rest as well. Yes, I need to show it now. Let me have one here, the forum. And then you can have the name here, let's say the discussion. And you can have several forums here. That's interesting at UK. If you don't want the students to start with new discussion threads, always use this one, single simple discussion, so that they will not start separate discussion threads. When you allow them to go with the standard, they can open discussion threads, and marking would be very, very difficult because you have to open all the discussion threads and give the marks. And sometimes the students will not see what the other students have posted in other threads. So if you think that the marking needs to be done and it make it very simple and it's a simple activity, then better to go with single simple discussion. So only one thread is there, one discussion. And then if you say make it availability, that always you can set these deadlines as we discussed earlier. And here for the rating can be done. Okay, so then you can have the rating here, average or maximum or likewise. You can consider it, and then the points, how many marks that you give, or you can have a scale. Let's say you can have the grade here, the 5 marks, and then you can have all these things if you have them in the grade book. This has to be defined in the grade book. Okay, the grade to pass would be, let's say, 3. And then the same as earlier, the restrict access can be given so that you can have the discussions only at a particular time. So that everybody will be there and they will be in the discussion for a particular period. Let's say 2 days, they will be in the discussion. They will not waste time, but they will specifically talk only about that particular subject maybe. Yes, on completion, again as earlier, you can set the setting here to show activity as complete when conditions are met, so that the students will have to post their answers, so that they will, in order to make the setting to complete. Okay, so the Moodle will set the setting to complete once the students post a reply. So you can say student must post a reply. So student must post a discussion or reply. So they can post a discussion or a reply, then they will be marked as done something. Okay, done it. Okay, so you can have it like this because it is selected already here. And then again, these settings can also be done, and the completion, yes, active completion, you can say complete the competency, so that you can have linked activities and save it. So you will have the discussion like this. So then when you have the users here, you can go on adding the grades to them. Okay, yeah, I'll move to the next one now. If you don't have any questions in this, so if you have questions, please ask. Hello, do you have anything to ask about this? I think most of you have practiced quizzes. Sorry, discussions, forum discussions. Have you done the grading as well using forums? Really? Any more? Anybody else who haven't done anything with the forums? Hello, Chaturi, Chamali, Shanika, Kanishka. Use forums but not grading. Okay, so you can see that the grading can also be done using forums. And first only thing is actually you have to make it a little bit simple. So let's say maximum grading we one if the student has scored the maximum mark, then you don't need to think about the other posts that they have posted, or else you can limit the number of posts as well that the students post. So here if you go edit the settings, number of posts that they provide can also be restricted. Okay, so here, if you have the discussion, locking can also be done. Lock the screen discussion after period of inactivity if they don't do anything, and the post threshold can be added here. Time period for blocking. So if you block it, then you can say yes, post threshold for blocking and threshold for warning. So that let's say within 1 day, if they have posted 5, and then once they come to the 4th, they will get a warning message, and after 5th they can't post anymore. Okay, so let's say then you can minimize the number of messages in the forum. Let's say everybody should provide not more than 2 within 1 day. Okay, then let's say following day they can post. Okay, within 1 day they can't post more than 2. Then once they post 1, then you will send them a warning, and then the second one they will not be able to, or the first one is not nice to set a warning, you might feel. Then say okay, at the end of the second one they will set a warning saying that you will not be able to post more. So likewise, you can set the values here so that you can minimize the number of messages coming to the forum. But they will think well and then provide their post their messages. Okay, so these settings are really helpful for grading. And if you look at this one, I have to submit something, otherwise at least you have to submit. So maximum rating will appear here for the students, and then the student has to provide a reply here, and then he has to submit his post, my message. And then I can return to my login, and I can see that the one person has provided. Okay, but the problem here is actually I'm also a teacher, so it's difficult for me to do this grading thing that here. It's same login, same information. So if you have the students login here, then you will be able to do that easily. Okay. Let's move to the next one then, the quizzes. First of all, if you want to do the quizzes, you have to think how you would structure your course. Okay. So now, since I have 4 topics here, let's say that I have 4 lessons here, then I need to have four quizzes, let's say. Topic 1 also I have a quiz, topic 2 also I have a quiz, topic 3 and 4, all that I have quizzes. Then I need to know, okay, I am going to have 4 quizzes, 4 sets of questions. 4 sets of questions I will have. Based on first lesson, first topic, I will have a set of questions. Based on second topic, I will have a set of questions. And likewise, I might need to have a plan. Okay, so then within the first lesson also, I might need different types of questions, like beginner level question for the easy type of questions, and a little bit average type of, okay, let's say middle group, little difficult type of questions will be in the middle group, and the most difficult questions would be in the third group. So then the level of difficulty, we can categorize the questions into 3. So likewise, we can have different categories. So now if you provide, if you structure your questions according to this categories, then it is easy for you to design any number of questions or any number of quizzes or tests in the online course. Okay, so once you add the questions will be should be organized in the proper manner, so that gradually year by year you might be adding some more and more questions. So finally you will have a large database, a question bank in the course. So, and you can download the question bank and keep it, and you can when you have a new course, you can import all these questions to that course, and you can use them very easily. So you don't need to create them again and again. Okay, in order to do that, first of all, you need to think about that. Okay, you need to have a plan how you will create the questions. Next, you need to have a question bank. Okay, so you have to prepare a question bank. So in order to prepare a question bank, you can go to the course, and then you can go to more here, and then go for the course settings, badges, here, the question bank here. Okay, did you see from where I came here? This new Moodle version is having this all settings here, administrative panel. And this one is not having listed it. So you have to click on this more. And then when you go to the more, you can see here the question bank. Okay. The question bank, you can have the categories, okay, the questions, and import and export options here. So the categories, if you think about this, let's say I just delete this one. Okay, add a category. I just add a new category here, and then that would be a new one. So these are the things that I have already. So you can always look at what you have. So you have the in learning, this EL02 is the course name. So you will have this parent category here, and then I can have a subcategory here for the lesson, topic, let's say topic 1. And then I will type here the topic 1 is the what is the topic 1? I can write it here what it is. And topic 1, if you say topic 1 level 1, okay, level 1 means easy level, the easiest type of questions. So I can type here the topic 1 easiest questions here, easiest type of questions here. So I will write it like this. I will type it like this. Questions are here. And then the lowest difficulty you can type, and then add category. So you will have it here. Topic 1 L1 here. Okay. Can you see the topic 1 L1 here? The second category would be topic 2 L, the same level. And then I can say, yes, I will write here the level 2. And this would be the middle level. So you can go on adding categories. And then I can have a next one here. For the level 3, that is the most difficult. Okay. These are the most difficult questions. So for the topic 1, I have 3 levels. And likewise, you can add the other things as well. Or else you can have category lesson topic 1 as one category, and inside that you can have level 1, level 2, level 3. And for then in that case, from the topic 1, you can move questions to other categories as well. So likewise, anyway, you have to structure the categories. So in this case, I have topic 1, level 1, and level 2, level 3, and I have to add some more things like topic 2, level 2, and likewise, I can go on adding. Okay, I can go on adding here the questions, categories. So this 0 means actually, now I added the 0 copied here now, because of that 0 came into the title. 0 means there are no questions here. 0 means no questions here. Okay, so that 0 means I have no questions. This one is having, okay, so I have added something here. That's why I can see something here available. Okay, now I'll go back to these questions. Always you can go back and come forth. Okay, so now here you have L1 0 and L2 0 questions here. And then here I have L1, topic 2, L1. Okay, I'll move this one. Okay, topic 2, L1. So here L1 2, topic 2, L1. I need to add some questions here. So you can click on this, create a new question. You can select whatever you like. Okay, so let's say the easiest type is true, false. I add that one. And the question name would be, the question would be the topic 1 L1, that is L1. This is for the L1, the 001. The question text should be written here. So you have to type here, are you happy now? Yes. And then you can have the default marks 1, or you can have a number of marks here. Then the general feedback, thank you for answering, or whatever, thank you, or whatever. General feedback needs to be written here. And then the correct answer, what is the correct answer? There's no correct answer here. Are you happy? Yes, no, but let's say yes. And then the feedback for the response through, what is the feedback? Well done. Oh, that's a great. So likewise, you can give the comments. For the response false, you have to write the feedback for the false. So then you have to say, let's learn again. So something that will encourage the learner should be written all the time. Okay, for the negative feedbacks. And you can have the multiple tries, means you will allow them to try, but here you don't have much because it is yes, true false type of question. So now I have added one question there so that I can see here. Okay, so I can edit that at any time and I will have it here. And then I can add another one, say multiple choice question. And likewise, I can go on adding more and more questions. So this one would be L1, 002. And because this is level 1, 002. And here the question text, I can have another question here. Say from where are you? Where are you from? Say, where are you from? So default marks you can add in number according to your requirement, and the general feedback you can provide. Either you can keep it blank as well. So the option would be, let's say Colombo. And then the second choice would be Gampaha. See. And the third would be like, what? Third one, yeah. Third one, Matara. And fourth one, let's say Nugegoda. So I'm just typing something easy. And then here, the Colombo, choice 1, let's say that there should be a correct answer in this case. So where is the UOC is much irrelevant, no? Otherwise, there's no correct answer here. So then the choice 1 would be the correct answer. In this case, I have only one correct answer. Okay, so in that case, if I ask where can you find the entities of UOC, then we can have Hambantota as well. Yes, otherwise we'll have only one correct answer. If you have multiple, you have to select this. Okay, so if you have one correct answer, you can have this. And then how do you want the choices to be displayed? Yeah, I want to have one or A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, which way you want. Then the standard instructions like the single answer is there, multiple answers are there. Likewise, if you want the students to see that, then you can say yes. Otherwise, just select no. Okay, if you say yes, that means there's only one correct answer. That information is provided to the learner. The grade. Now, if this is the correct answer, then you have to allocate 100. And because this one says only one, I selected one answer. So then you can have it here. And then the feedback, yes. So then you can write correct, or you can say any other feedback, positive feedback. This is not correct. So you have to say incorrect. So likewise, you can go on adding the questions here. This is also not correct. This is also okay. I have only 4 added. You can add 5 or 6 or any number if you want, some more options. Otherwise, leave it blank. Okay, don't need to worry about that. Let's say I have 4 options. I just keep it like this. And next, so I have some spaces. Yes. And then you can save this one. So you have 2 questions now. Here you have 2 questions. So when you're preparing the questions, let's say I just want to add another question for the level 1, topic 1, level 1, topic 1. And then I can show you that I have questions from 2 categories. Okay. So I just add one more here. Or you can have a structured question even. My topic 1, level 1. Another question here. I have the L1, sorry, L1, L1, 0001, sorry, 0001, because this is the first level. The question text, you can have any question here. What are the workshops? Workshops you have attended. What are the workshops that you have attended? And then I can say general feedback 1. Okay, what number of workshops have we conducted? Let's say. Okay. What number of workshops have we conducted? And let's say yes, that's only one correct answer again. And this is so here you can have 1 and then 2 and then 3 here. Yes, I have 4 here, and let's say 5. Sorry, 5. So what is the correct answer? So that you have to write here. So this is not graded, or just say minus value. You just, if you write, if you want to have a minus value, you can have a minus value even from here. Okay, or just have none. Then this is also none, and this is also none. Okay, 4th one, this is the 4th one. So I can say 100% for this, and we can save this. So you have then now one question here. So likewise, you can go on adding questions to the question bank. Okay, so now in my question bank, if I click on this question bank, I can see that I have this question here under this category, and then it has only one questions. So if you think about this one, it has this number of questions. This one, I think I deleted. I can delete this. Yes. So I have this number of questions here. L1002, L101, Q1. Okay, this can also be deleted. Okay, these are the questions now I created just now. Okay, so I have L101, L1001, L1002. And they are from the parent class ELC02, the main course. But if I look at the topic 1, I can see only one question here. If I click on the topic 2, I can see 2 questions appearing here. Now using this, if you want to prepare a quiz, you have to come here and add a quiz. Okay, did you understand the previous thing? What we discussed so far? How to prepare a question bank?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Everybody understood? Okay, thank you. Yes, I just added the question now quiz here. Let's say this is the lesson end test. So I would like to have a topic here because this is topic 4, or else I can have to change this to topic question. Yes, and then number of sections here, 1, and then a topic. So here I need to edit this one as the assessments. Then this is for the lesson and test. Okay, so that I just add another question here. Now I need to add the question here for the quiz here. Okay, the quiz means the things that I like to have as a couple of questions will appear in the quiz, and that is going to be a test. So this will be a test. Okay, course and test. This is a course and test, and you can provide the necessary instruction descriptions here, what this is and all that, and want to display it on the screen so you can have it. The timing also can be set as we did earlier. And you can have the other settings as we did with the assessment and the pass grade here. Since we have 2 questions, let's say 2, and then 2 questions, then you can have the other settings about the layout, how you want to show the questions one by one, each question in new page, or you want to show all the questions on one page. If you're doing if you're preparing a quiz for an English test, let's say you will have a paragraph and then you have a couple of questions coming on the same interface, then you can have 10 questions selected here, or number of questions that you want to show. And then on the interface here, you can write the description, what that question is about. And then you can provide all the questions on single page. Or else, otherwise, you can have the questions, one questions at a time, the students will be able to see, and they will continue with the next questions by clicking on the next button. Question behavior. How do you want the questions to come? So you want to shuffle the questions within question, shuffle within the question, the options will shuffle, yes or no. So that is that we usually select, because in that case anyway we should not have none of the above, all of the above statements. That is not correct to have such options in a question. If you use that, then you can't use this actually. And in that case, you have to carefully write the questions properly with all the question options should look as answers to the question. And then how questions behave. So deferred feedback means after attempting the question, the students will see the answers. Okay, so otherwise they will not be able to see the feedback. So then if you want adaptive model, then the adaptive nature can be included, where the students will see one and then they can jump and then come to the next. And then immediate feedback, the immediate feedback once soon after attempting the question, they will see the feedback. They will see the answer, the feedback and the marks as well you can provide. Or you can have the certainty based method where the students will see whether the question is correctly marked, what percentage of certainty. So that they will see the deferred feedback. That means at the end of the questions, the whole test, they will see the feedback for each item of question. But at the end of each question, with the question, they will see some options appear in there, asking the level of certainty, whether they are quite certain about the answer or doubtful. Okay, so if you select this option, we can see that whether they, even if the students have marked the correct option, whether they are not quite certain about the answer. So they will say, they will select, say, no, I'm not certain enough. Then accordingly, the grading will be done. So according to the certainty level as well, the grading will be done. So then get a, actually we will be able to provide the marks according to the level of the students' understanding and then the knowledge. That's what Moodle says. Just have this one as well, and to see how it works. The review options, actually this will provide you an idea that the students will see the feedback after attempting the question, and immediately after attempting the question. If you don't want to show these kind of things, because this is a course and test, so that I just remove all these things. Why? Because only at the end of the question test only the students will see the feedback. And then again, I don't want students to see the attempts or then specific feedback. I just want them to see only the marks. Okay, so that I don't want them to see even that this is not needed, the marks. But if you like to have this, you can have overall feedback statement as well selected here. Yes, and then since this is selected, and then after that you can have the options where appearance and how the mark should be provided with decimal places and all that. And the same browser, the feature is also there. If you want, you can have the client configuration. Other settings actually goes with the manual and your own configuration. These things needs to be done by the system administrator. They have to provide a configuration file, and then we can use it properly. Otherwise, you can use this one client configuration, but by default, coming from the Moodle. But there are issues with this default setting. Anyway, you can have it and see how it works. And then extra restrictions on the attempt. If you want to require a password for them to attempt it, you can have that one here. Or else other things are here, the feedback, like for the grading and all that, what feedback you want to give them. And then the group wise also you can allow them to attempt the quiz. And then the access restrictions, this is what I said earlier as well, so that you can prepare the quiz and then set it and then allow the learners to attempt the quiz at a particular time. So they will do it only at that particular time. So they will not be able to attempt after that. So that let's say you will help the learners to access it only at that day, on that date, that time, and then soon after that they will finish the exam. So you can set the exam to number of minutes, and then the students will be able to finish it after that. Okay, so you can set it like this. Let's say today 16, and then you will have to complete at 6:30, 30 minutes only. And then let's say it's a 15 minutes exam, and then in that case, then I will allow them to see it here at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock only they will be able to see it. Okay, and if you want to allow them to open the quiz, they will be able to, you have to click here, and then today 6, then you have to say 18. Let's say the exam starts at 16, 20, no, 15, yes, because I set it to 16:30. 16:30 the exam will be ended, and then the 15 minutes examination. So I might say, okay, you have to finish it. You can see the exam at 16:15, but the students can see the instructions at from 6 o'clock. Okay, so likewise you can set the settings here so that they will be able to do the exam. And then the time limit, I might say, okay, 15 minutes exam. So after 15 minutes, the examination will be closed. So they can start at 18:15, and the examination will close at 15 minutes, 18:30. And if you want, you can set that this one as well. Then let's say 18:30 or 45, another 15 minutes can be added, so that the question will be open, kept open during that time. So in that case, I will keep it as well to 45, so that the learners can access it, learners can see it. But when they start the exam, from that time onward, they will be able to use, they will be able to attempt the quiz only for 15 minutes, because this examination close at 15 minutes. Okay, so likewise you can set it, and then you can save it. And then after that, the problem is now the questions are not here. Okay, so you might say, okay, where are the questions now? So you have to have this, and then you can add the questions here. So you always can have the questions edit using this, or you can edit the questions here. Okay, then I will go to the question bank and open the questions here. So now I'm editing the question, okay? And so I can add the questions from here. So can you see this button link here, add? So from question bank, so I have created the questions here from question bank. So this place, I have one question here and two questions here. So let's say take one from here, but you have to have at least a large number here, actually 10 at least, let's say for 1 hour, then only you can create a nice question, nice examination, effective examination. I said, now you have one category here, and then I am going to select one question from here, okay? And that will be taken, add question to the quiz, and then I am going to add another question, a random question. Let's say a random question can be taken. Okay, so the random question can also be taken, and from the question bank. So let's say I will select from here. Okay, one question randomly. Okay, one question randomly I will select from this one, and then add. Okay, now I will add, I am adding randomly one question from this because I have two questions there. And since I don't have much, I just added this one here. Now you can change the numbers even. If you want to have 5 here, you can edit that one, okay? If you want to have, let's say you want to increase this number, then you can edit this one just 5 and press enter, and then again you want to have 5 here, let's say, and then press enter, and then you will add that one here. So maximum would be 10. Okay, so you can save it. Yes, then you can go and see how it appears. Assessment here and course. So you will have it like this. But since I have selected the not to make it appear, so you can see that it will not open until this time. Okay, so you can't see it because it will not open until this time. If you go to the first interface, you can see the same instruction appearing here. Okay, so if I change the settings, I can see the questions here. Have you tried these questions, quizzes earlier? Now it's 5:11.
No, I hadn't tried it.
Really? Oh.
I had only been using the most basic functions, you know, just like uploading the lecture and things like that.
Oh. Actually, these kind of features are here within Moodle, which we can use, that are really useful for designing assessments. And without much struggle, we can conduct very effective examinations with this. So if you want to see how this works, then I have to set the settings to change the time. Now it's 5:12. Let's say 23rd. This is date is wrong. Okay, 23rd to 5:12. 5:12. This means 5. Let's say 10. From 10, it's open. Okay, 5:10. 5:10, 23rd. Then restrict access 5:10. Let's say that is 12 now. If you want, you can, if you can wait until 15, then you can see how it actually works, because this is 5:12 now. Otherwise, let's have it like this, because you can see that it automatically starts. Did I save it? 18:6:45. 3:15. So I changed my setting to now I can see it because the restriction has given allowed me to access this, because I said that time is different. I changed my time, and here it's asked me to download the Safe Exam browser, because I selected the Safe Exam browser thing working. So that's why I have it here. Then I have to install and then run it. So let me change that option as well. Otherwise, it's difficult for you to do it. I will change that setting as well. Otherwise, I can't. I have to waste more time. I spend more time for editing that. For installing. Then I have to say no Safe Exam browser. Now I'll quickly go back to the student view. Now I can see that a quiz can be attempted. Start attempting. So these are the options I have given. For what number of workshops have you conducted? So now it's shuffling the question, the answers. Can you see that I just typed 1, 2, 3, 4 in an organized manner? Since I selected shuffle as an option for providing the options here, so now I can see that the numbers are not in the correct order. Okay, let's say 5. Now it asks the certainty. Can you see that I selected the certainty as well? I'm not sure, middle or quite sure. So it asks whether you are sure about it. So I say not sure. Okay, not sure. Next. Where is UOC? It asks from me. So I just select Colombo. Just wanted to show you how that one works. Again, I will select unsure. Okay, now both options I selected unsure. Then finish. Then I can see that the time left, and then submit all and finish. So I will see that the question has been submitted and it is, I have finished it. But I can't see the question answers. Why? Because I set the restrictions there that the question ends at, the quiz ends at some point. And because of that, until that time, the learners cannot see the feedback. Okay, so they can't share and say, okay, I answered this one, and then because of that, I got this number of marks. Nothing can be said because they have to wait until everybody finished the exam. Then only they can see the marks. So if you want to see how it works again, and then I have to change some more settings here. Then I have to go here again and then do the editing with the activity completion. Oh, sorry, restriction. These settings should also be changed accordingly. Then I will be able to see the answer soon after I enter the marks. Okay, so the I select the options. All right. Any more questions, please? Any questions, please? Yes, Sudhir. Okay, thank you. Anything that you would like to say? Yes, I think we have taken enough time today. Otherwise, will be really late for you to. We'll continue with this in the next, maybe two weeks later, if you need.
Okay, Tushani, I think we have taken more than 2 hours, so we need to actually stop now. But just to summarize, even the assignment activity, there are a lot to learn. I mean, what Tushani shows a part of it. There are so many different ways how you can practice. Quizzes, there are so many ways quizzes can be done. Even the audio questions can be created where the people can answer it. We can show them in the new next seminar. And also the other things, development of the question base is a challenging task where people can do. And even the forum is so many different types of forums could be used, and the assessment part where the peer review can be tried out, and the teacher can restrict it, the grouping can take it into the discussion forums where you can have a different types of discussion like this, the different groups, and they don't see each other, or even you can change the group from one activity to another activity using this grouping feature in the course. So there are so many things, but if you just try some of the online features available, you can learn. But the main thing is actually to motivate the interest and to show you how things, but there are a lot more things that has to be done. So we will continue this one, and Wants to thank all the participants. Professor Pavitra, would you like to say anything before you wind up?
No, fine. I just thank both of you and especially Dr. Tushani for the continuous effort in blended learning.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will end the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.